Hey guys, I'm Tom, Tech Chap, and this is the OnePlus Nord. Well, in here, this is the fancy reviewers packaging. We have the regular retail box in here. So for this video, I thought I'd do a quick unboxing for you guys, if I actually can do that, and give you a bit of a sort of walk through of what's new, first impressions, and just an idea of what actually the Nord is. With Nord basically being like OnePlus coming back to their roots. They say like Nord is sort of north, it's like their true north. As you guys know, OnePlus phones have been getting better and better, but also more expensive. So the OnePlus Nord starts at just £379 here in the UK, or €399, with the higher spec version for $469. Now, considering the OnePlus 8 starts at $599, that's a good deal cheaper. Pull this down. And there we have it. So this is, as you can see, a genuine unboxing. I've not even seen this phone yet, except for my little virtual pre-briefing last week. So I'm actually pretty excited for this. And you can see on the front there, in this matte black text, we've got Nord written there. So let's open this up. And there we have it. This way Nord. So let's open the plastic. Ooh, look at that. Look at that blue marble, that's shiny. So you can see straight away, this is quite a unique design actually. They've gone with a glossy, shiny back here. But which one do you think looks better, the Nord or the OnePlus 8? Let me know in the comments below. Although of course, bear in mind, this should be a good deal cheaper. So if we put this down just for 1 second and have a little look in the box. And as usual with a OnePlus phone, we get this clear sort of rubbery plastic case, which actually has a bit more of a design on it than usual. That's how it looks. So this comes in the box. You don't have to go out and buy another case if you don't want to, which is a nice touch. It looks pretty good. And then we have the usual USB-A to USB-C charger cable, as well as the power plug. This is the UK outlet model, and it also supports the Warp Charge 30T technology. So the same as the OnePlus 8. We still have OnePlus's signature little, what do you even call that, vibrator silent mode toggle, which I really like. I use that before I go to bed every night to put it into silent mode. We've got this dual hole punch cut out the top, which is quite reminiscent of the Huawei P40 Pro with its dual cameras up there. Camera module on the side, it's a quad camera setup, we'll come to in a second. And importantly, I know a lot of you guys will be pleased to hear this, we have a flat screen. No headphone jack, unfortunately, but on the bottom we have the dual SIM card slot, as well as the USB-C port, the speaker grill. Although unfortunately the Nord doesn't have stereo speakers. This little one up here is just the earpiece for calls, so that's a little bit disappointing. We also don't get any form of IP rating here, although OnePlus say it'll survive in 30 centimeters of water for up to 30 seconds, so it's splash proof basically. Once you're up and running though, with Android 10, Oxygen OS 10.5 and a 90Hz screen, it feels fast, responsive, it really is lovely to use. Left of the home screen is the Google News feed, and during the setup you can choose between the nav keys or gestures, which I prefer. Although the first thing I do is jump into the customization menu, then change to the dark tone. You can actually fiddle around with a whole bunch of different options here, so you can really make it your own. Then I go into the display settings, screen calibration, and I like to change it to AMOLED wide color gamut under the advanced settings. So the screen itself is a 6.44-inch Full HD Plus 90Hz fluid AMOLED display. It's a tiny bit smaller than the OnePlus 8, but the most obvious change is this bigger hole punch cutout. We also get an optical fingerprint reader under the screen, plus there's the usual face unlocking, which I tend to use. So far, so good then, but let's talk specs. And as you can see, we're getting the Snapdragon 765G here, which is the first time we're not getting a flagship chip in a OnePlus. Does it really make a difference? Well, I'll leave that for my full review, but importantly, we are still getting 5G support with this, so even though it's a mid-range phone, that does make it a little bit more future-proof. Now, of course, I'll run full benchmarks and comparisons in my proper review, but I do think that we focus too much on, Geekbench scores, when in reality, when you have fast, lightweight software like this, and you're not pushing a Quad HD 120Hz screen, this may well be all you need. The good news though is they haven't really compromised on the RAM and storage. The Nord comes in two different flavors. We have the 8GB model, 8GB of RAM plus 128 storage, and also the 12GB of RAM, 256 storage option, which I have here, which is great, although bear in mind that they are slightly slower. It's the UFS 2.1 and LPDDR4 RAM as opposed to UFS 3 and 5 RAM. Plus, having a less power-hungry chip and also combined with this Full HD resolution and the 90Hz screen rather than say 120Hz may actually help conserve battery, because inside we get a 4115 mAh battery, which is a little bit smaller than the 4300 mAh cell in the OnePlus 8. So we'll have to see how long this lasts with some proper testing in my full review. CPU. And of course, then we get the 30-watt charging, OnePlus's 30T warp charger, which, as I say, will get you 70% in half an hour. But unfortunately, it doesn't support any kind of wireless charging, which is a bit disappointing. And finally, let's talk about this camera setup. Starting with the front, and for the first time on a OnePlus, we get two selfie cameras, a 32 megapixel main lens and an 8 megapixel ultra wide. Round the back, we get a 48 megapixel main lens and an 8 megapixel ultra wide. We can zoom in, but it's a 2x digital zoom as we don't have that dedicated telephoto lens. But instead, we have a 2 megapixel macro and a 5 megapixel depth sensor, which should help with more natural bokeh blur in shots. Importantly though, the main lens is using the Sony IMX586 sensor, which is the same one as the more expensive OnePlus 8. Now, as well as my full review, I'll be doing camera comparisons with the Nord, so do let me know in the comments below what phones you'd like to see tested against this. So I guess you could think of this as a kind of OnePlus 8 Lite, although I do appreciate they went with the Nord name. It's a little bit different, and it also suggests they're going back to their true north of having a good phone that is good value as well, because that's always what OnePlus were about. More choice is good. I love seeing great budget phones, although this has a lot of competition, so do stay tuned for my full review. This was just more like an extended unboxing, which I hope you guys found useful. If you do want to see more from me, and of course watch those camera comparisons and battery tests and all that good stuff, make sure you do hit that subscribe button below. But what do you reckon of the OnePlus Nord? Would you be tempted to buy one of these yourself or not? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.